Hey guys, welcome back into our VCP 6.5 ICM hands-on training. This is lab 17 in our series. In this lab, we will go ahead and take a look at some of the performance around your virtual machine. This is rather pretty small lab, so I will not be spending too much of time, but I'll give you a quick overview. How do you really go ahead and look around some of the performance things related with your VM? This is the objective for this lab. We'll go ahead and monitor the CPU utilization by trying to increase the load on the virtual machine, and we will go ahead and take a look at some of the other things around the utilization and the performance. So let's go ahead and log into our VMware vSphere web client. So I have logged on to the VMware vSphere web client. Now let's go to the VM and template section. Within the VM and template, let's go ahead and expand our DC, and we do have a couple of the VMs that we have been pretty much working in this so far in our series. Now let's go to one of the VMs. Let's go ahead and click on VM3. So monitoring the performance is quite pretty easy. You go to the VM. Within the VM on the right hand side, there are a couple of options, and one of the tab says the monitor tab. So let's go ahead and click on the monitor tab. Within the monitor tab, there are a couple of sub tabs, and if we go through, let's go ahead and click on the performance tab. So within the performance tab, let me go ahead and minimize this one a little bit. So within the performance tab, there are a couple of options. One says overview, another one says advanced. So let's go ahead and simply go to the advanced option here. And once we go ahead to the advanced option, we should be presented with a real-time graph for our CPU usage, and you can take a look at the real-time graph for our CPU usage. On this graph, there are quite a few options. So now let's go ahead and simply click on the chart options. Once we are on the chart option, we should be presented with a couple of things here. So in that, now let's go ahead and take a look at on the chart options. Let's leave that to the defaults here. And within this, we can even go ahead and select the CPU, and let's go ahead and uncheck the CPU usage for the VM3, and we will go ahead and change the time span to real time. Once everything looks good here, now just simply go ahead and click OK on this one, and it would be a couple of seconds, and we will be able to take a look in this pane, the ready and the used information related with our VM. So now let's go ahead and try to increase or try to put some load on this VM3. So let me go ahead and open the console for my VM3, and if you recall, we had written a VB script to increase the load onto the system. Now once we are logged on to our VM box or the virtual machine, now let's go ahead and try generating some workload by running our this VB script. So let me go ahead and open that, and it would be a few seconds because this chart kind of updates every like 20 seconds. So we will go ahead and wait a couple of seconds before we can take a look at some of the things on this chart. But meanwhile, let's jump on to another VM. We'll go to the VM5. We'll go through the same performance. We'll go ahead and take a look at the advanced, and if I go on this one, you would see the usage around, and we can go and take a look at some of the different things in terms of the usage for this particular VM. And this is the chart. Again, within the performance, we do have a couple of metrics that we can go ahead and take a look. We can look at the performance for your data store, your disk, your memory. Let's go and click on the disk, and we can see how the disk has been doing and some of the other things associated with that. Now let's take a look around your network on this particular VM. That can be looked at too. So is it sending or receiving any traffic or any of that nature? We are not sending or receiving anything. Now let's go ahead and change it to the virtual disk. We can take a look at how the virtual disk is doing, and a couple of the other thing that we can go ahead and take a look here. Now let's go back to your VM3 one more time, and I'm hoping we should start. So as you can see, we are looking at some of the data, and as you can see, the usage in megahertz for this one is 3027 megahertz. The reason, because we are running this load generation script, which is putting a load onto your CPU right now, and based on that, you can see the CPU usage on this particular VM. So that's how pretty much we can go ahead and monitor some of the things around the performance. We can again just go to the simple overview page, and by clicking on the CPU, we could see some of that information. If you're interested in just looking at the ready state, ready information, we can go ahead and take a look at there. Again, within the home page, we can take a look at the storage. So these are the different things that we can go ahead and explore when it comes to monitoring the virtual machine performance. Do spend some time exploring the different options available under the chart options. What are the different things that we can go ahead and configure for one or the other things? So that will be all for pretty much for this lab. I will see you guys in the next lab.